Hang with the gang. That's what we're doing. Oh. Hello there. All right. Chuck, Lori, what's up? Thanks for joining. Y'all were the first two and the only two. Oh, never mind. Not anymore. Gang. Hang with the gang. That's what we're gonna start calling this shit. Live streams. Fuck the post game reaction stuff. This is just hanging. So, yes. How about them Yankees? Yes. About time they got back on the board. They needed that. We needed that. We all needed it. So, thank God. Thank God. I didn't really watch much of that game, I'm gonna be honest. But I know they won. Need that. Judge hit a homer. Stanton hit a homer, right? Judge hit 45 for 45. So, good for him. Good for them. Judge hit two. I didn't know he had two. Okay. Yes, E. Dot. I think we all saw what happened in the news yesterday. That shit was crazy. I just watched the live stream that they did too. They showed they had like the FBI director Cash Patel up there. They had the governor. They showed that dude jumping down from the building and running away. Yeah. I think the crazy shit about that video is that we are constantly seeing people just take their last breaths on Twitter. It's actually insane. You know what I mean? That part of it is nuts. So, Chad, what's up, man? Pickleball game's going fucking strong right now. We're going crazy. That's why I didn't really watch much of the game. I was at the courts playing. So, we were getting it, man. Yeah, no, that video was bad though, E. Dot. Bad. I feel like I saw 7 different angles of it, and it got worse every time I saw it. I still haven't been able to come up with my own opinion on. I've seen people say that he was wearing a bulletproof vest and that it deflected off the vest, but I don't think I see a vest in those videos. I can't. I mean, they have like. I think it's kind of crazy that there's less info on this guy than there was that blonde Karen lady at the Phillies game the other night. They had that lady's name in 30 seconds. Everything. So I just kind of can't believe that with $100,000 bounty that they haven't. Someone. I mean, I saw they said they had over 7,000 leads or people calling in. So they said it was more people that have reached out to the FBI hotline than the Boston bombing. That was the last, the Boston Marathon. That was the most that they've had. So hopefully somebody comes up with this guy's name I think Judge is the MVP. I mean, I don't really know what we're talking about with Cal Raleigh. I think I said this the other night. I mean, obviously he's having a great season. He's doing stuff that no other catcher has done, but Judge is doing stuff that only he can do. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about, man. The guys behind him, I saw some stuff where, they were making some hand signals but like that's hard to tell because like what I'm doing with my hands right now is similar to what like signals that were happening. So I feel like in a moment of like disdain and people just completely blown away with what they just saw that they're going to try to find something. I don't know if in the end those guys were tied to it. I don't know if we'll even figure out the full landscape of this shit. Like, I don't know if when they catch that guy's going to be, I don't know if he's going to be alive. I don't know if he's going to be dead. I mean, seems to be with how little information they have on this dude that he could have very well booked a plane ticket and been out of that city within 2 hours and in a different country by now. So that shit was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Yeah. That was bad. That whole thing was bad. Oh, I can't even. And then you have the stuff that was happening on the train with the girl. I mean, you don't even have time to like digest things that are happening in this world. I mean, obviously people are going through something daily, but god damn, everyone got to watch that. That was bad. Are you talking about that little black spot that I saw that was like on the upper like chest? Yes, I saw. I saw that. I saw that view. Yeah, Chuck. Everything is bad. Crazy with that old guy that had just. Are you talking about the old guy that they originally, like, had detained on the ground? And then they had another dude that they had, but no, the whole train one was. That was really bad. I saw the governor. The governor concluded the press conference by saying Utah is one of the only states that still supports the death penalty, and that they're going after the death penalty with this guy if they get him. That would be. I never really know how I feel about the death penalty thing, just because the whole aspect of like that just completely defeats the point of jail, in a sense, you know. So if they do, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not I didn't really know a whole lot about Charlie Kirk before this. I knew what the internet like wanted me to know, which was that there was some interesting like debates that he would have with people, but I didn't know that he was as loved as he is. I thought it was more like he wasn't liked that much. I mean, obviously there's like a whole nother side of the spectrum where people like love him, and then there's that side where people hate him. But with how big this is, I would expect that the second that this guy is caught, that they're gonna have some. It's gonna be swift. It'll be quick. I don't know if it's gonna be one of those cases where it takes a few years to get it figured out. Like this, with how many politicians this guy was linked to and how much they've all tweeted that they loved him with certain people, they're gonna once they get this guy, it's just gonna be straight to the fucking point. That guy started a GoFund. I saw that a GoFundMe was taken down, but I didn't know that he was the one that was putting it on. That's bad. You thought you were gonna get struck by lightning in April? Damn. That sucks. Yeah, I don't know, man. This whole thing is just it's fucking crazy, guys. I know you guys were watching that game tonight. Like the Yankees had obviously Trump was in town, and I saw they put up like a glass window in front of his suite, and there were snipers on the roof everywhere. I mean, if you think that his security detail was deep in general before this, after this that I bet it was times 4 after that. When you were playing for the Yankees after a game at Yankee Stadium, how did you travel? I mean, we would depending on like if it was an away game, we would take a bus to the airport. But if it was just like me going back to my place, I would just take like a car service back or like an Uber. That's the thing. Did you see how much the Yankees players were smiling in those pictures with Trump? That's probably that definitely pissed some people off. But like, I would go out on a limb to say that like majority of the people that I know in Major League Baseball, they're pretty. I mean, they're pretty right. And so seeing people smile with Trump wasn't too out of the norm for me. I did see the way Trump smacking that elbow of judges as if he isn't fucking paying attention that our guy's got an elbow problem right now. But you got the president just beating that fucking elbow up. He needs to fucking watch out. Low, low, low key though. I feel like if I met Trump, I would call him like Donald, just just to see what he would say. So maybe call that dude Donald instead of Mr. President. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'd probably call him Donald, straight up. Don, yeah. Probably wouldn't foresee yeah, I don't know if he would give a single fuck. I feel like the people around him would be like, you just called him Don or Donald? Yeah. Get the fuck out of my locker room. That's probably what I was said right after that too. To get the fuck out of here. So, who knows? I mean, that shit's funny. But yeah, who knows anymore, man? I might get away with it. He probably doesn't give a single fuck. You know what I mean? He don't give a fuck. So, that was good. Either way, we've been dead in this bitch a little bit. Yeah, I was gonna say, no. We went from the viewers of. I think I took that hiatus, guys. I think I took it off. He might respect people just calling him his name. He's probably tired of people just calling him Mr. President or people just want his fucking attention. He's old. He's getting old. He's definitely probably at that point where like he wants that shit to be over with, probably. Yeah. Donnie, I mean, I didn't see how Cam pitched. What was his final? I can look it up. Was his final stat line pretty solid? I know the score was what, like 9-3. Blue Jays won. Fucking of course. Let's see. Let's check out his 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 Ks. Yeah, that's pretty nice right there to get Cam going 6 and then Ryan Yarbrough's finishing out with 3. It's pretty nice. That's what you want right there. Big game tomorrow in Boston. Big game. Yeah. Need the I don't know. Depending on what time I'm here tomorrow at my house, I might stream during the game a little bit. I feel like I could. I don't know. I don't really know how Yankees fans. I don't know if Yankees fans like to watch the game by themselves. If they want to watch it with somebody else like me. I don't know if other Yankees channels do a whole lot of like in the middle of the game streaming. I don't know if I can't foresee myself sitting there the entire fucking game. I really can't. That's a lot. That's a lot. That'd be like a 4 hour fucking stream. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, 6 innings. How many pitches did Cam have? Let's see. What was his do we know what his pitch count was? Trying to anyone in here know? Yeah, no, I'm not talking about like live streaming like the screen of the game, but like I would be watching it, and if other people are watching it at the same time, hang with the gang. Um, but yeah, that would be. I don't know. You get some reactions out of it. I'm gonna be honest though. Like I'm not really one of those guys that like if someone hits a home run, you're not gonna be seeing me like screaming or yelling up and down. I never even did that whenever I played, so probably won't see that. But I'll give it to you straight. You know, Clint, I'm a military vet. Let's give a shout out to the military members as well. Yeah, shout out. Shout out to all the people in the military. You guys are fucking badasses. Straight up. I mean that. I really do. Good for you guys. I never had the courage to do that. So I do commend anyone that was willing and able to do the things like that for your country, for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for everyone. So salute. Shout out. Can't tell my judge in that NYPD wasn't hard as fuck. Yeah. The NYPD has her hard. 95 pitches? Yeah. I mean, that's why he went 6 innings. There's no reason to really go out there with uh, more than 95 for a seventh. Especially, like, no. Yeah, I think Boone will be back. Is this his final year of his contract? I need to know these things. Let's go to ChatGPT. That gets me fucking everything I need to know. Log in. Logging in the chat. Let's see. What do I know? What the fuck? Allow. Six, 8, 6, 2. Sorry, guys. I'm dialed in trying to log into my chat GPT. Alright. My bad. Yeah. Shout out Donnie. Holler at some smaller streamers. They could def use a color guide. Do you have streamers on here that you know of? Clint, do you have a feral cat in the back? Do I have a cat? It's not feral. I don't have a feral cat, but I do have a cat in my house. I have a bunch of cats, unfortunately. God, it happened quick. It happened quick. I had a few cats for myself, but then all of a sudden, fuck. I'm a father of a few. Not to mention Clint. Listen, I said this shit a while ago, and people said that I was just grifting, but I said with the Yankees stuff, like with the injuries, they're weird. They're weird with the injuries. And I don't get it. I really don't. I don't know why they like mislead the public like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like the one thing that the Yankees fucking do is that they'll be like, I'm just gonna use me for example. I'm not gonna use someone else. I'm not gonna wish that on them. But they'll be like, Clint left the game with like tightness in his ribs, and then bang, Tommy John. So they just kind of surprise you with some stuff, but they also like kind of tell you like a little bit of it. Like with Loizaga, they were like, could be bad, could be could be blown out, going for a second opinion, inevitable. Like they just kind of like beat around the bush and just don't tell you the exact thing of what it is sometimes, but they tell you kind of what it is, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, we told you." So they're fucking sketchy with that shit. Don't even get me started with that. Jonathan Papelbon is the nutball. Nutball. I fractured my wrist, broke my collarbone in half. Yes, that's. Sorry about that. Ari the Dev. Clint, hope all is well with you, boss. Ari the Dev. I hope all is well with you too, bro. Thanks for tuning in. We're fucking hanging with the gang. Cashin and Boone had to know about Volpe's shoulder. They do know about the shoulder, bro. They get they have a bunch of fucking idiots that are the ones that are hiding this shit. And it's also then it like bars the question of like, is he actually hurt or is this just something that they're trying to say to make them not look as bad for throwing him out there every fucking game? So if you have a torn labrum, it's not just gonna be getting better by playing. You know what I mean? He's gonna get a cortisone now. Like here's the thing with these cortisones. He could have got a cortisone when it happened, have 2 days off, 3 days off, no throwing, no nothing. Give him a break. Give him a break. And then he's good to go. You'll see that. If he gets a cortisone, or I don't know if he did get one, but he'll be out for a few days, he'll be back in there, that thing's gonna be ready to go. I don't know if the results are gonna change. I really don't. I don't think they will. I think too much has been fucking done. Um Trying to catch up in this chat. Chris, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. Volpe leaves the league. Unfortunately, I love cats. I love cats too. I have a few of them. They did it with Rizzo and his concussion last year. I think with the concussion stuff, they have no fucking idea what's going on with that stuff. That's like a topic that they don't even want to like get on. They don't want to be involved with it. They don't want to deal with it. And they don't want to talk about it. They don't want anyone to have one. That's like the worst possible fucking injury that you could have on that team. And I think I'm the main fucking reason why. Because they knew that they weren't going to tell exactly what was going on, but that I was. And that is like that's a tough scenario to be in, especially whenever you just don't, like you're bunch of people that don't want to tell exactly what's going on and knowing that the player's going to probably blow the fucking gasket on this at any point. Or the dev. I think it has an old head that follows the game. The org itself cares a lot about optics and controlling the narrative. I remember that when A-Rod went on Twitter and said basically, no, I'm healthy. Yeah, I mean, they do care a lot about the optics. And they also sometimes, I feel like they want to weather the storm a little bit with the media because they know, like, they know that there's a bunch of shit that's going to just be blown out of proportion and whatnot. So I think that they just try to, like, just keep it under wraps as much as they can, but inevitably it's gonna get out. So it's tough. That's the tough part. If you got injured, does the MLB team tell you have to get surgery? They'll certainly send you to somebody that will tell you. That's why you see a lot of guys go and get second opinions, is because usually whenever you start dealing with the team doctor and the front office and the trainers, they work side by side, and like the trainers can't put you in the game if the team doctor's saying that shit's fucked up. So if you go and see your own like outside opinion, then you might have a clear shot at like changing the direction of where you're currently in. Not always, but at least it gives the player kind of a little bit of a chance to quote unquote control his destiny slightly. I want to see Trump in the Vox versus Chapman. Yeah, that would be crazy. Clint, the Yankees are always misleading. It's infuriating. You're right, RC. They're misleading about everything. They gaslight you on things. They make fans think that players aren't actually doing as bad as they are. They tell you that someone's injury is not as bad as it is, and then bam, something crazy happens. They're a very uniquely ran team, but it works for them, I guess. Yes. Yankees got hot about everybody doing that because he popped the bubble. Climpy counting his shoes. Yeah, it might be. Brittany, what's up? He had one at the All-Star break as well. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that he had a cortisone shot at the All-Star break, but I mean, it didn't do anything then. It's yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that feral cat's about to climb up my back here in a second. This guy's insane. This guy's insane. He wants so much attention. Look at him. He's begging for it. I have to take a picture of my red and white blue Jordans in the pig. About the team doctor, their priority is like 60% gets you right for the field, it feels like. I don't know, because sometimes they don't like want you to play through these things. There's certainly some things that you can play through that you will see guys miss time for. So I do think it's unique that with like Volpe, they're like continuing to let him play, even though he's been what he is. Judge is continuing to play, even though his arm is clearly not what it was. But as you see, 2 bombs tonight, so he can still do the damn thing. It's just, I think the throws are going to be a problem. I think that you'll see that in the playoffs or towards the end of this stretch right now that teams are definitely going to check his arm, see where it's at. Even if it's a game that doesn't even matter that much and it's a team that might be playing them in the playoffs, just check his arm. See, like, start run on him a few times. See what he can do, because when the playoffs roll around, I mean, you're going to be testing that fucking arm if it's banged up. Here we go. I think that Volpe knew he was hurt but didn't want to say anything. My nightmare scenario is Judge having his flexor strain. The Yankees have him play through it, and then when they get bounced in the playoffs, they randomly. Yeah, I mean, at first when they started talking about that arm, it was like, are we like, are you saying? Am I hearing what I think you're saying? Type thing. I was kind of on the same thing with you in regards to the UCL, because it was kind of like he went on the IL like pretty quickly. Usually with his injuries, they give him like a decent amount of time to like see if he can play. So the fact that he went on pretty quickly goes to show that he needed that. And so now that he's playing now, I think he's good. But again, like I've said like 150 times, you're going to see that these teams are going to run on that arm. They're going to check it out. They're going to check that arm and see where it's at. And if it's not in that normal Judge spot, they're going to absolutely they're going to keep doing that until he throws them out. Okay. Cortisone shots don't last very long. I get them on my back and knee. He was good at the All-Star break. Little went down again. Yeah, I mean, the cortisone shots surely don't, like, I mean, they help. You know, you've had them. They certainly help. They certainly don't have a super long life expectancy on them. And from my understanding, you can only get X amount of them like per year in the same spot. So if you already got one in the All-Star break, and I don't know if he got another one today or if it's on the books to get another one here pretty soon. He is not getting another one for the rest of the year, more than likely. So they're gonna have to figure out what's going on with that labrum, because partial tear, whatever it is, it could take some time to get back from. That's the tough thing. That's the shit with the off season, where some of these surgeries take 2 times the length of the off season. So these guys do miss time depending on when they when they address those things. When Gary Sanchez started to nosedive, Boone was always talking about the quality of his foul balls. Yeah, you do see that sometimes where guys are like really fucking struggling and Boone's like really looking for something to talk positive about, but he's got nothing. And he'll be like, "Did you see that fucking foul ball he hit though?" And it's like, God, this guy really needs to get a fucking hit so he can stop talking about foul balls. Oh, I love it. His press conferences are wild, dude. He looks pissed. He looks miserable half the time now. So I know he just knows that every single day is a circus with these questions. They're gonna ask him whatever they can to piss him off. And respect, he keeps it together. Keeps it together really well. Why didn't Peraza get a real chance? Lack of talent, bad attitude. He was hitting the Myers. I said this a few days ago, and Peraza kind of falls under that umbrella of what I was talking about. But like sometimes, like I felt suspect to it a little bit as well. You have these prospects that you either trade for or that you bring up through your system, and then you see at the trade deadline that every single fucking team is supposedly trying to trade for them, but they never get rid of them, inevitably to just sit them and put them in a situation to where when they do get the at-bats, they don't produce the way that you expected them to. And it's kind of just like, well, what did you think was going to happen type thing. They put you on ice is what I'll call it. So I think with Peraza, he was just kind of put on ice for so long that they just fucking replaced him with somebody else. I don't know. I didn't like follow his story too much. I just know that he was their guy, and that he didn't get the situation, or he didn't get the outcome that I think everyone was expecting to happen. So, I mean, good for him. I think whenever you make it out of that system finally, whether it's you get that starting spot in the big leagues or you get a chance with another team, shit's good. Tears are worse than breaks. Clint, did you play with Judge in the minors? I only played with him for a few weeks before he got called up. He's now at Story, had surgery on. Just have another cat behind me. What? Can you see? Or is he? That's Ricky, by the way. That's Big Rick. Slick Rick is what I call him. Low-key feel bad for Boone because I know these decisions come from higher up. That's the thing. So when it comes to the decisions that Boone is making, like obviously I'm not the first person to say it, but it's like a checks and balances, right? He's certainly got people whispering in his ear, people that he has to answer to. But I want to know that when he does make, like, I want to know what decision he's making or what decision they're making. And one, if he's making that decision, what do they say to him after if it doesn't work out or if it does work out? And two, if he's making the decision for them that they want him to make, does he agree with it? I would like to know with how many of these decisions that either go good or go bad, like he actually agrees with, or that he was behind. I think that would be refreshing. Peraza is getting playing time with the Angels, just can't hit Major League pitching. Yeah, I mean, Major League pitching is hard. So we'll see. I mean, he'll figure it out. What was it like playing with Didi? Did you ever get to know? Didi was awesome. Didi was a man of insane traits. Like, he could play the piano. He could speak like 9 different languages. He was obviously a good fucking baseball player. He loved photography. He could draw. he was just engaging in a lot of ways. So Didi was Didi's fun to be around. I'll give it to him. He's a cool dude. Boone's just Cashman House puppet. If you are a prospect that gets called up and does not play immediately, is it tough more physically or mentally? It's definitely more mentally. Uh, physically, not like physically like demanding tough, but physically in the sense of you're trying to hit a baseball that's being thrown at you 100 miles an hour. That's hard. So, and I don't know. I think we're all humans and we all like measure ourselves up against our teammates. You know who the ones that are playing against you, and it doesn't take like an insanely like competent person to know like, damn, I should be playing over that dude. You know what I mean? Or to know like, dude, this fucking guy. This is Poppy, everyone. For everyone that doesn't know, this is Poppy. I shaved him. You can see his back. He got faded up, boy. He got faded up. This is Pop. So Poppy's on one. You can see it in his eyes. Yeah. So I think what I was saying is that it doesn't take an insanely competent person to know that that's your competition. They might be your teammates, they might be your friends, but the people that are on the team with you, those are your competition. So it's that's hard. That's the hard part, especially whenever you're not playing every day, but you see someone like, for instance, like think about how Caballero is probably feeling, where he's like, this dude's been fucking hurt all year, and he's playing better than him, and he's still not getting the nod. I mean, obviously he got traded over here and knows that that position will have to be stolen. But I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna see Caballero is gonna be. Just fucking don't know. Actually, I feel like they're actually dumb enough to fucking give that leash to Volpe's super fucking long, even though Caballero might be the guy they should be giving. Um, sorry, but too many nerds that never played high level baseball are in top baseball positions. They need more baseball guys instead of the rocket scientists. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like some of these dudes, they know what they're talking about. I struggle with it, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with like, even though my baseball situation was my situation, I I do struggle in a sense of, you have to separate the fact that just because someone else maybe didn't play doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know what they're talking about. You know? I think you saw that with Ryan Clark the other day on like First Take, where he's a football guy, and he was telling this basically like just not listening to what the guy had to say because of he didn't play football. And I don't think that that's a fair take, but I do struggle with that sometimes because you know, you just think because you play that you know more, and if they didn't play, how could they know? And that could be true in both cases. Um, my cat does that. They all want attention. His name is Onyx. What color is Onyx? I have 3 orange cats, so I'm clearly the father. It's my offspring. Gardy said he loved playing with Jeter. Sure, everybody did. The guys in AAA with good majors. Hold on. The guys in AAA with a good majors team hope they get traded to a worse team. I know I did. Kinda. I know other guys just want to play, and usually the quickest route to playing is to be on like a shit team. Sometimes. And then obviously if you go and you ball on that team and that team stays shit over time, you can I see that retracted. That was good. That was good, Brittany. That was good. Good retraction. That was funny. Um Yeah, I don't know. I think you just want to play. I don't think you really care who you are, who you're with. But if you're on a bad team and you're getting extreme amount of playing time and you're doing well, then like the light at the end of the tunnel is like one, you'll continue to play, and two, you can get traded at the deadline to one of those good teams and then play. There you go. I love black cats. I had a black cat named Chi Chi. I adopted her in the south side of Chicago. Her name was on her birth certificate Chiquita Baby. So, yeah. So I called her Chi Chi. Yeah. Lombard Jr. isn't ready yet. I mean, yeah, that's it's fair to say. He started high this year. I know everyone wants him to I know everyone wants him to be the guy, but people got to be careful with that because they wanted Volpe to be the guy too. And if Lombard Jr. comes up and he gets off to a start like Volpe had, where it's maybe not all sunny skies and there's some rainy days in there, y'all are gonna be running him out of town next, and that's just not that's not cool. That's not cool. You got to give him time to develop, and I think it's hard in Yankees major league system to develop. They want that insane right now. I gotta produce player. Cashman should have made a trade at the deadline for a shortstop by now. Yeah, I mean, cats like calmer people more. My friend's cat likes me, but hates almost every visitor. I feel like I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty chill. I really am. People think I'm a little unhinged, but I just think I'm funny a little bit. Lombard Jr. needs to develop more. Volpe skipped AAA now. Yeah, that's tough. I did see the Yankees run the playbook and shut down Volpe. Tell the media that. Yeah, I mean, everything's on the table with these guys. Who fucking knows how they're going to handle it? Certainly think that there's some jackasses that are going to be handling that rehab. That's for fucking sure. Hope they're watching this. They know who the fuck they are. Um, Totally agree. Makes no sense to draft anybody if a fan base is gonna run all the rookie. Yeah, that's the hard part, right? It's that the fan base is so. I have a hot take. It's not a hot take, but it's kind of like I'm open for debate. I think that the fan base needs to do the best that they can to erase the memories of all the players that played their favorite positions before all of the current guys right now. And what I mean by that is you don't have to like completely forget about them, but you need to, in a sense, separate the fact that Volpe might not be the next Jeter, or whoever's at first might not be the next Teixeira, and whoever's at third is not going to be the next A-Rod, because those guys are so hard players to emulate a career to be like. And so that's what creates all this chaos of the turmoil of the fans being so upset with the lack of production. And so, yeah, I know it's never going to fucking happen. It never will. You got fucking Gen Z beta kids that are 17 years old being like, Mickey Mantle would have fucking got that ball. And it's like, you didn't even see Mickey Mantle play. So, yeah, I don't think it's ever going to stop. But I think that they should definitely try to just differentiate a little bit of expectations. Just let players play. Just shut the fuck up. Help them. Help them out. That's what's going to help. Too much pressure on today's on the players. Yeah, you're right. I'll never have too much pride in the franchise and want another ring. No one can be Jeter. Exactly. That's what they did with Volpe. Yup. He's not going to be Jeter. No one can be Mo. Exactly. You guys are saying all the things that are realistically like options, right? That's the thing, is that Volpe's not going to be Jeter. Luke Weaver, wow. Luke Weaver's not going to be Mariano Rivera. All these players are going to be who they are. If other players try to be other players, they probably wouldn't be the players that they are. You have to have a lot of a lot of players have really good individual characteristics. And so if you try to like be somebody else, it kind of takes away from who you are as a player. And that's why when you see some of these players that struggle and then they try to get back on track, they have a hard time getting back on track because they lost who they were in the process because they were doing something else that might not be what got them there. I'm fucking preaching right now. What's up, Matt? Big shoes to fill. We're not running him out of town. He isn't good enough to play shortstop. Yeah, I mean, RC, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for anything in the realm of him saying he's going crazy. I'm just saying, in general, Yankees fans are a little quick to want players gone whenever they aren't playing well versus the opposite is that Volpe's leash is so fucking long that now everyone's just like, cut the fucking leash. Cut the leash. It's hard. Double-edged sword. Wook Weaver, yeah, I was really struggling to spit that one out. I agree with that take. There are some players you can't replicate as the game evolves. The way the players play change. For example, Jeter's batting was a batting average hitter, and you see less of that today. Yeah, I mean everyone's themselves, so everyone's different, bro. You just gotta kind of hope that you get lucky and be in a really good situation with a team to get that consistent opportunity to play, and then obviously try to not just be a fucking dickhead and let the fans and media paint the story of who you are in a positive way, and you got a great career potentially. Yankees need to promote their greed. Hall have like 3 Hall of Famers on their team. Fans still complaining. Yankees need to promote their young stars, but they don't need to compare to players from the past. Don't need exactly. See, we can all agree on that. I think that's something that needs to, like that's something that needs to change. I feel like you don't see in any other fan base, but maybe it's just because I'm not as tapped into them. But you just don't see in as many other fan bases of players holding on to their Hall of Fame players for so long. You know, Jeter's name will always be around, and obviously he earned that right. But there's gonna come a day when Jeter played shortstop for the Yankees 75 fucking years ago, and at that point, none of the players that were even like they're. It'll just be old news. I say that respectfully, because it's just he played 75 years ago. Made me mad last year when they kept trying to relate the 25-year World Series team. All previous teams totally agree with what you're saying. Whoever made Judge and Lab needs to get to work on more players. You're right. Do you think the Yankees try to develop their hitters within the org in some type of universal mold? They don't do this with pitchers in the minors. It looks like. Here's what I'll give the Yankees their flowers. They do really, really, really well developing pitchers. They do. They have a lot of pitchers that come up through their system that stay in their system, but they don't have a lot of hitters. They have some, but they don't have a lot of hitters that necessarily stick around for the length that you're seeing someone like Judge stick around for. Like Glaber, for instance, he stuck around all the way until free agency. Gary stuck around all the way until free agency, but they leave after. And those are just rare cases with some guys, because some guys you don't see them get the amount of at bats that they should. So with all that being said, I don't know how they're developing pitchers just because I was not a pitcher, but as far as the hitters go, I do know that they got a little bit obsessive with certain things, and some of those things are launch angle, exit velocity, and home runs. Obviously, all three are components of one outcome, which is a home run, but the teams have formulas that basically say that if you hit a ball at this launch angle, I think it's over 12, I think it's 12 to 15 degrees is like the happy medium. Anything over like a 29 is like they don't love, but I think they want like around 20 to 25 degree launch angle, because they know like certain launch angles at a certain velo is going to lead to a home run like 99% of the time. So that's what they want, which is why you've seen they've had some huge fucking lineups, like literal like linebackers that are in their lineup, and it's taken away from other parts of the game that matter, like having athletic players, having small ball players being able to run on the base pass, steal bases, play insane like better defense. So I think they did have a mold, and I think they took like Bronx Bombers like super fucking literal. You know what I mean? Super literal. Cause how easy is it to market people that are hitting fucking home runs? Everyone's just like, dude, this guy hit fucking tanks. Like, fucking love that guy. So home runs get you paid. Yeah. I mean, Davy Garcia is just one of the guys that maybe didn't get the opportunity that most people thought that he might get. But, you know, I can't speak for Davy, but I just meant that in a sense of they have a lot of pitchers that come up through the system that are fucking better than their hitters, in my opinion. Not sure what goes on the minors, but this team makes so many mistakes on the base pass and on defense. Something needs to change. Pitching development under Blake Sisbrand is like the opposite philosophy, where guys have individualized plans tailored to strength. Yeah, I know. I know Brend. Bryn's a cool dude. Bryn's funny. They certainly they certainly let pitchers kind of like do whatever they want, because most pitchers are just told like you have an elite fastball, you have an elite curveball, you have an elite this, so we're gonna lean on that when shit's hitting the fan. So they just, with pitchers being the ones in control and hitters being extremely reactionary to what the pitcher's being thrown, hitters have the upper hand. Sam Brin knows that. Matt Blake knows that. They've got some fucking dogs. They have that whole thing in Tampa where it's like the pitching lab, but it's called the gas station. It's kind of sick. It's a sick fucking name. So, that being said, like, how can you not develop these dudes if you're drafting just absolute fucking Terminators throwing 100? I love players that bust their ass and put in the work. That's why I enjoyed and became a huge fan of yours. I appreciate that, Blaine. I tried so hard. I ran into a wall, and fucking now I'm live streaming. Nine Gary Sanchez is ain't gonna win a World Series. Three true outcomes works for some, but not ideal overall. Yeah, I mean, look, to each their own. I just know that these teams quantify good at bats through launch angles, exit velocity. Like, you could go into the game in the minor leagues, and your manager after every single game is going to fill out some sort of report on you, every single player that played in the game. And they're going to fill out a report, and let's just say I went 5 for 5 with 5 singles, but all 5 of those singles were hit under 95 miles an hour. They'll chalk that up as like a bad day, even though I got 5 hits. They'll just say that you were lucky and that you didn't hit a single barrel. So that's kind of tough, you know, because the box score doesn't always tell exactly what happened. So they just want you to hit the shit out the ball, because they have statistics that show that the higher the exit velocity, the higher the outcome is for a potential hit. That's really what it comes down to. That's why Judge is so fucking. That's like literally why you're seeing him hit over 300 still this far in the season. Is his he just hits it so fucking hard that he's guaranteed to hit way more than a guy that hits it not as hard as him. Correa throws lasers. He does. Internet loves bunts. How many hours of pros practice bunting? Yeah, let's talk about bunting for a second. That's good. There's usually every single org that I've been with in spring training usually has one guy who's in charge of bunting in spring training. And from my experiences in 2 organizations that I did spring with, they're they were older men, 2 older guys. Like, one of them is like 95 years old right now. Like literally, he was probably like 80 fucking years old whenever I was there. Uh, his name was Johnny Gorel. He was with the Cleveland Indians. He was the man. He was the man. But they don't spend a lot of time bunting. Usually you go there, you bunt for like 10 minutes, and they just like set the machine up, and you just like sit there and you just work on your angles, and they're never like throwing you a curveball or anything. It's always like a fastball. So it's the stakes aren't like super high, and usually it's like the last station that you have to do at spring training before you can go home. They'll like send somebody, but hey, I'll be at the bunting station at 3:30. Like, meet me out there, and be all right, yeah. Few minutes. I find that they develop guys like a safe floor for them that can pump out forever, but I feel like it caps the guys soon when they try to mold everybody like that. Judge is an outlier. What do you think happened with Joey Gallo? I was not around with Joey Gallo. I was going through all my concussion stuff, so I was not at the field. I never met Joey, so I can't really speak on his situation. But I did see that. I did see that there was like some reports from the media that said that Joey would like lay out his entire uniform on the ground, everything, like what he was gonna wear, and like clearly that came from inside the locker room. Somebody sold him out, and that's fucking stupid. So I think he was probably having a semi-tough time if you got people inside the team ratting you out to the media, even if it's something so minuscule as that. But it became a topic. And higher than last year's, Correa plays third in the top, but we see that after Hills, Volpe just needs Soto. Oh, to build some muscle, not Soto. I was about to say, yeah, I mean, I don't know what he needs. He needs a lot right now. A lot. Trevor Thomas. That is where the team should look at hitting differently. Sure, the exit velo is not there, but if you have consistent contact, that should be valued more than as you're making things happen. Nothing can happen from K's. I agree. I think that they definitely like look at certain players that you would think that majority of the fan bases would be like, fuck yeah, I would love that guy on my team. But I think they look at some guys that are in that lower exit velocity quadrant, and they might not love them as much as a guy that maybe, like I feel like every single trade deadline or every single draft, you always see that like there's this diamond in the rough, and like one of these guys in the development team, and it's like, for instance, it's like dudes that are having like extremely like bad seasons in a way, and then they take a risk on these guys, because they have a underlying metric that like significantly stands out, and so it gives them the hope that, hey, maybe this guy could absolutely be a game changer. I'm looking for my phone charger. I don't know if I brought it down. We're good. I'm at 31. But yeah, that's facts. Yeah, of course, Bob. What's up? Come to TKN 5. Come TKN. When you look at the Volpe injury, Cole injury, what do you think the Yankees seem to not want to check up on the injury by getting other? All right. Here's my take with the injury stuff. I don't know. I don't know why they do this, but I do know that there is a lot of people involved in the injury stuff, and there's a lot of people that are involved in it. And with some of these injuries, it doesn't, they don't tell the truth for whatever reason. I think it's just like again, to mitigate how much like media storm that they'll deal with, how much fans that they have to deal with from the outcry. Also, some of these players, maybe they think that they could get over whatever they're going through by a certain amount of time, or maybe they just like in general want to just be fucking liars. That's really what I think it is I think they just like love to lie about the injury stuff. I don't know what it is. It's always cloudy. It's always gray area. Always. So very rarely is there just like straightforward injury diagnosis that you see. And like for instance, like I remember, I'm not gonna say the player, but I guess I have to say, I'm not gonna say the player. I'll let you guys do the research if you want to. Um, Basically, we took a flight from a game to another city one time, and this person was banged up, like hurting a little bit, and there wasn't like a whole lot of info that had been let out about what was going on with this person. But if you follow the timelines, I'm sure that you would start to see that playing time would be slightly limited. Maybe they were getting more days off. I don't know. I can't remember exactly this player's exact demographic of playing time at the time. But I do remember that whenever we landed in that city and he wasn't in the lineup the next day or something along those lines, and the quote was something like, "Oh well, the plane was this player was like a little like uncomfortable in his seat, so I'm giving him a day off." Basically saying like the plane was a little small, this guy was a little like, it was something fucking crazy, like, oh yeah, he's getting a day off because he was too big for his chair on the plane type thing. And it was just like, that was one of the most that was like, he didn't even try. He didn't even try to like make up a story. He just bullshitted everybody right there. So those type of things, respect. Would you have to buy your own tickets if you go to watch a game at Yankee Stadium? I think I would have to buy my own ticket, but I'll say this. I'm not gonna say everybody's name because I just don't want to. I don't want to lose my cover, but I think I know multiple people in that organization that would give me tickets. And I think that there's people in that org that would be surprised to know the certain people that would give me these tickets. So, because I still got people that reach out from the team. I have people that follow me. Uh, I have people that are contractually binded to the New York Yankees that like my videos or just like certain things. Maybe it's a tweet, like, like Boone follows me on Instagram and Twitter. I know he's seeing my shit. I literally made a video about if they should fire him or not. I know he saw it. But yeah, I have like people inside that organization that were liking my videos or my tweets on some certain things whenever I was saying that the Yankees like mislead injury diagnoses, and those are guys that clearly have to deal with a little bit of that mislead. Is Gallo still trying to become a pitcher? I have no idea. Ryan, the players and agents pushed against MRIs are looking for update. I can't speak for what other players are doing, but I know that my agent and me were consistently reaching out to people that were outside of the team doctors that I was seeing or the people that the team would send me to. And then my agent would directly communicate with every single one of those doctors, because there was a lot of times where, so here you go, I'll give you something. I went and saw a doctor when I was outside of, so I went and saw a doctor when I was with the Yankees multiple times, and then I ended up seeing this same doctor when I was no longer with the Yankees. And hold on, my cat's just going crazy in the car. Poppy, come here. I don't know what he's doing. He's in my closet over there. But anyways, saw a guy whenever I was with the Yankees. Saw a guy whenever I was not with the Yankees, and had a decently long conversation with this guy. And he told me that when I was with the team, that the team was trying to pin him against me in a way. And I think that the one thing that the team was starting to understand was my relationship with this certain doctor was growing, because it was during a time that I was seeing a lot of, uh, like I was having a lot of concussion problems, and they started to see that this doctor was maybe a little bit in my corner more than in their corner. And so when you have situations like that, like, yeah, you do have agents that want you to go see certain people because they know that that will give you a better chance at navigating the storm that's out ahead of you that maybe would happen if it was just the team um, sending you to a certain person. Here we go. Thoughts on the torpedo bats? Never used one, James. Probably wouldn't. Used the same bat my entire career, all the way from high A to the time that I was done. What's up, Jay Mata? How late are you? You are 66 minutes late, dude. 66. But look, it doesn't matter. You're here. You're here. How are the Yankees doctors compared to the medical care provided from your other teams? The Yankees have like fucking 4 different doctors that are consistent